often when you're good at something, when that's your spiritual gift, people will say, whoa, that was awesome, even if you don't know it, because with spiritual gifting, a lot of the time, you're unknowingly good at it, right? It feels normal because it's your gifting from God.
Welcome to the Midweek Motivation Podcast, where we bring practical help for your faith and life. Here's today's episode.
Hey guys, welcome to this week's Midweek Motivation. My name is Jess. I'm one of the pastors here at Westside, and I'm so excited to jump into this conversation. We're doing Campfire Conversations right now.
That's right.
With Caleb Kolstad.
Yeah.
And Caleb, I thought of you when we started to talk about when I started to think about this specific thing, because I think that you have a unique gift in seeing other people's gifts and being able to grab a hold of them, not passively, but like really grab them and pull them in and plug them in. But I'd love it if you'd share a little bit about what it is that you do around here.
Yeah, so I am the production director here. So we have a team of 40 of us, and we all, if you see cameras down on the front row, you see cameras in the back, you see people doing audio. If you join online, you see people chatting up with you. That's all the production team. So we kind of run the back end of a lot of the Sunday services. And so we have a big, amazing team, and we love each other. So yeah. Yeah, you do.
You kind of set the bar for us as far as teams go in what we call transformational community at Westside. In that, like, you guys have such a tight-knit group of people, and you guys are all passionate about what it is that you're doing. And also, like you said, love each other and grow together and stuff. So
absolutely,
it's awesome. I love it. So we are talking a little bit about not just community, but what makes community, I think, so impressive and so tight-knit and locked in. And part of that is being able to lock into like our own spiritual gifting. And if that's something like a phrase that might be a little bit confusing or new, from my perspective, and I think it's what the Bible teaches, it's a gifting or an ability that God gives us when we say yes to Him, that He uniquely uses us to have an impact in our community, using that gift specifically. So feel free to add to that definition if you want.
I think that's right.
Yeah. But can you tell me or share with us a little bit of how you started to discover your spiritual gifting?
Yeah. So it would go back a long time. So I grew up my entire life at Westside. I was born into the church. And so from a really young age, I've been around leadership, and I've been around ministry, and I've been spoken into and encouraged by a lot of amazing people. And so
in your household, even
in my household, and outside of my household, I've just gotten the chance to be a big part of that. And so it's been a long process throughout my whole life. But I mean, when I was 6 is when I saw an opening, and it was an opportunity that was available. And I'd say that's where it all started, is really just going, okay, something opened up. Yes, I like this. And so I'd say it started way back, and it was just an opening that opened up where I saw, oh, this fits. I like this. I tried it and I like it.
Yeah.
And then I went on that path, and that took me down lots of places, like we say in HCLI, right?
Yeah.
Your red barn that you're going towards might not be your white barn that's going to be the thing that you end up doing.
Yeah.
But I think really discovering my spiritual gifting, which my biggest one is leadership, has come especially in probably the last, I'd say, 5 years, when I actually became the production director for Westside as a whole. That's where I got in the room with different people. That's where I had a fire under me that I had a lot of passion for, and truly where I noticed, oh, there's fire and gas here. You know what I mean? Like, that's where I started to really fall in love with leadership. And so it really was a matter of going, okay, an opening is here. Let's see what this is about. And then that took me down a long path of many different things.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that all brought me here through, what would that be, the last 14 years? Where I'm loving production director and leadership, and yeah, so that's kind of really, really summarized version of me getting here. But yeah.
Yeah. What is experimentation to like try and start to find your things? Like you said, I saw an opening and I was like, yeah, let's see what this is about. What does that look like practically speaking for somebody who is not used to that process?
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll speak to at Westside specifically.
Yeah.
There's so many volunteer opportunities at Westside. And I think a lot of people don't even know what is opened, if that's available, if it's not.
Sure.
And I want everyone to know that every single volunteer opportunity is available all the time.
Yeah.
And it is quote unquote hiring. Like if we could put up a sign, we are not paying, it's volunteer, but we're always open for more people coming in.
Yeah.
And so I think, I loved how Adriana, my sister-in-law,
Yes.
my sister-in-law, I love how she put it. She said it's like trying different flavors of ice cream. So especially in ministry, and especially if you don't necessarily know your spiritual gifting yet, go to spiritual gifting workshop. You need to know that if you want to know.
This Sunday,
yeah. If you want to know like where you might provide the most value, or where you might get the most fired up.
Yeah.
You don't want to always be in your drudgery zone, right? You don't just want to go serve and then feel like it's taking every bit of you.
Yeah.
You want to be fired up. You want to be able to also be fed by serving.
Yep.
And so I loved how she put it. She said, it's like trying different flavors of ice cream. You need to try a few a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And so, when I saw that position open up, I tried the bite and I said, I like this. Let's do this more. And then I figured out different ways to serve in that area. And that, by the way, when I was 6 years old, that was doing slides for the elementary area. And so I was a little tiny 6-year-old. And I would run the slides for the elementary area. And that became becoming the youth production director. And that became running a larger team of us. And then that became being the co-director of all of production at Westside. And then that became me being the production director at Westside. And so it really it was just opportunity that was available, me trying that flavor and going, I dig that. Let's dig more into this flavor. I want to eat more. And so for someone else and being practical, I think it really is about just asking. You see people greeting at the front door, that's an open position. You see people running a camera, that's an open position. You see people running sound. All these people are volunteers. All these people.
All of them.
There's like a few of us that are actual staff. And so most people that you see, that's a volunteer position that's available for you to serve in. And all it takes is asking or someone saying it's open, right? Sometimes you just don't know. And you just need someone like me to say, yes. It's open.
Yeah. I think one of the things to highlight too at Westside is it's okay to experiment. We love that, right? And there is a process that you can go through to test something out to see if it's actually something that you enjoy. And we call that apprenticeship around here. Yeah.
4-step shadowing.
Yep. And so as we experiment and as we test, and I feel like we can do this in any area of life, then we start to like discover more and more about what we like uniquely and what we connect to uniquely, and then start to apply our own spin to it. I think that's probably experience that you have. Like you start to step up into something and then adopt it, and once it becomes yours, then you're like, oh wait, let's see how we can kind of like do this, and then that's when your uniqueness starts to play into it. Kind of. Does that make sense?
If you're listening to this podcast, then you're the kind of person that wants to grow in your faith. And you know what makes people grow in their faith faster than anything else, according to the stats? Volunteering, serving. I want to invite you to join a team, at least take a test drive. That's how we talk about it at Westside, is test drive something. You wouldn't buy a brand new car without test driving it. And same, you might want to test drive a serving opportunity. I want you to head over to westsidecommunitychurch.com/volunteering right now, browse the opportunities, click a box, hit submit, and test drive a serving opportunity. I promise you, you're going to grow faster than you ever have before.
What do you think keeps people from finding their gifting? What do you think gets in the way of finding your spiritual gifting? And
I think it's often a lack of action. Like, I think that you don't know what you don't know, right? It's like when you ask questions, the answer is no if you don't ask, right?
Yeah.
And so the answer is no if you don't try, right? You don't know what you like and what you don't like if you never are doing it. You can study it, you can learn about it, but you still don't know until you actually do it. So finding your spiritual gifting, what keeps you from finding it, I think is trying the flavors. Like, just go do it.
Yeah.
Go ask if you can try it and ask for advice. I think another thing that holds people back from actually truly finding their spiritual gifting, like I said, I've been spoken into for years. When I'm doing something and I'm good at it, I am often asking other people's advice, and sometimes don't even need to ask to get other people's input on if I'm good at that thing or not. And so often when you're good at something, when that's your spiritual gift, people will say, whoa, that was awesome, even if you don't know it, because with spiritual gifting, a lot of the time, you're unknowingly good at it, right? It feels normal because it's your gifting from God.
Yeah.
You have to master it over your life, but often it's your gifting from God, where God's going, this is your natural intrinsic desire.
Yep.
That's your spiritual gifting. He gave us all different gifts. And so when you're doing it, you might be like, oh, wow, that was really easy. And then someone goes up to you and they say, that was amazing.
And you're like, oh, I thought everybody could do it.
Yeah, you're like, I thought it was fine, and I did this, and this wrong. First, take the compliment. If I'm giving a compliment, I would way rather that person just receive the compliment than say why they did something wrong.
Yeah.
That's besides the point. But listen to those compliments. Listen to them. Read into them. I think it's a great thing to read into. Go, okay, what is the spiritual gifting there? What am I naturally good at that these people are complimenting me and encouraging me on? And then feel what you get fired up doing, right?
Yeah.
My obsessive thing is leadership. I'm obsessed with it. I'm like, find me at my house any day of the week, and I'm probably on something like Growth Day or Masterclass or YouTube watching a leadership masterclass or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always thinking about how I can be a better leader. I'm always trying new methods. And so what are you doing in your free time that you find like, I really enjoy this, I really get fired up about this?
That's a great indicator. Yeah. Just out of curiosity, what fires you up so much about leadership?
Building others. There's nothing that I'm more passionate about than making disciples and building other people up. On the production team, we bring a new person on at this rate. Our average is a new person a week. So I'm on the phone with a new person a week, talking with them, getting to know them, telling them about our vision and our mission, and then onboarding them onto the team to then be trained by someone else. And then I get to watch from over here, them be trained up. And there's nothing more fulfilling than being able to lead that person and build their relationship with God and see them join a true community. There's nothing is more fulfilling to me than going, they went from, maybe lost, maybe insecure, maybe lacking fulfillment, maybe having no community, to confident in the relationship with God, 5 close people to them on the production team, in a community where they're able to serve God with the gifts God gave them first. They've reached a new level because they know now that excellence is honor, right? They're getting the values of the production team so that they feel called to hire. I get so passionate about watching that happen over and over and over. Yeah. It's amazing. And it never gets old.
Yeah. So, that's awesome. I love it. I love that God loves us so much that he called us to something, but also gave us such a deep passion for it that it can be so energizing and fulfilling even through the hard parts. Yes. So that's cool because there's hard parts.
Yes.
Well, so I was thinking about, and we were talking about this a little bit, but we were talking about this a little bit before, but I was thinking about what I love to go back in these principles and find them in the Bible. And one of the first things that we see Jesus do when he starts to walk on his mission is he starts to recruit people. And he starts to pull them into a circle and speak into them and do all the things that people have done for you, right? He's like, he kicked us off in the New Testament doing those things.
Yes, yep.
And the first one that really popped to mind was his engagement with Peter. And in Matthew 4, let me find the right scripture here. Okay, Matthew 4:16? No, Matthew 4:18. It says, one day, as Jesus was walking along the shore of the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Simon, also called Peter, and Andrew, throwing a net into the water, for they fished for a living. Jesus called out to them, come, follow me, and I'll show you how to fish for people. And they left their nets at once, and they followed him. And that is an example, I think, of the mission that God's given us to make disciples, right? So you are, like, we've been talking about this mountain range, and that's really just a reflection of our spiritual journey, and you're firm in your mission mountain for sure. So how do you follow that example that Jesus gave of finding people and encouraging and like pulling them in and encouraging them in their spiritual gifting as a leader? Like for anyone who's watching and ready to start doing that.
Yeah, ready to start calling people to hire.
Yep.
I think there's something really pivotal that we teach at Westside and in HCLI and a few other classes, and it's called the IC and U conversation.
Yeah.
And so this is like a long developmental process, but I believe the first action or the first step is obviously action. So just learn things, start doing it, and then continuous improvement.
Yeah.
And the idea of IC and U is that you are actually watching the people you are leading. Even the people you're not leading, right? Like a great example of someone who does this just so intrinsically that I don't even know if he knows he's doing it is my papa, Pastor Ken.
Yeah.
He will just encourage someone, and then that person will think about that for a while. Little does he know, he just had an IC&U conversation with that person. IC&U means like, you know, if Jess, let's say Jess was not a pastor, but I was like, geez, she's really good at, you know, teaching the scriptures. She's really good at building relationships. She is a great shepherd, and she loves to, you know, bring people along the spiritual journey. Then I might go up to her and say, you know, Jess, I see in you a pastor. I think you're so good at taking people along the spiritual journey.
Yeah.
And, you know, at Westside, we lack a person that has that. Boom, right?
Yeah.
There's a new position where we're able to now make more disciples and let less people fall through the cracks because Jess is here. And that probably something along those lines happened for Jess to be in the position she's in right
actually.
now. Right?
It did. And the funny thing about that is I think that as someone who has experienced that, I can speak into the fact that most of the time people see these things in us and we don't actually think that they're a thing.
Yeah.
And to hear or to receive that invitation or that encouragement or that compliment will blow someone's mind.
Yes.
Because it did me when I was approached and was like, hey, what do you think about doing this? I was like, what? Like, me, no. Like, I'm not qualified for that. I don't see what you see, you know what I mean? And so to be able to receive that type of an encouragement from somebody can change just the trajectory of their life. Yeah. And I think God works through those conversations because I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now if somebody didn't have that conversation with me. So I love it.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I think it's one of the most powerful things ever. I think two things that really come in line that I've learned over time from having so many of these IC&U conversations, not only me giving them, but me getting them too.
Yep.
Is one, the mustard seed analogy is so important with them. You give the IC&U conversation. Of course, you want to shepherd that. You want to make sure you're along for the journey, but it is not your job to micromanage them, or if they don't think that is their calling, it's not your job to it is your calling. No, that's God's job, right? It's just like when you're wanting someone to accept Jesus. You planted the seed. Good.
Yeah.
Good job, faithful servant. You did wonderful. The other thing that I think is really important along with the mustard seed idea is...
Before we move on, can we dive into that mustard seed idea and explain that a little bit more? Yeah. Like that analogy is that a mustard seed is like teeny, tiny, right?
It's one conversation.
Yeah. And you plant that, but the reality is that we don't do a whole lot. Like we might water it a little bit, we might encourage a little bit, but God is the one that grows that. And if you look at the comparison of a seed to the end result of that tree,
It's huge.
it's huge.
Yeah. It's massive. Yeah. No, that's useful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that I think is really important that I've learned and would love for more people to do, and it's if you think an encouragement, why are you not saying it?
Yeah.
Why are you not saying it?
Yeah.
Like if it's like compliments, it can be as simple as that. Like, oh wow, that person's pants are really cool.
Yeah.
Well, they probably wish someone would come up to them. They probably really would enjoy that compliment. That person's shoes are awesome. That person's glasses are really cool.
Yeah.
Well, that person's really good at speaking. Well, that person's voice is beautiful. They're a good percussion player.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. They didn't mess up a single time on that one thing. You know, like, oh, I really appreciate their authenticity in that moment. Like, these are all encouragements. They're all encouragements. And when we think them so often, and we say them like realistically 5% of the time, 10% of the time. And, you know, over time, I've learned to just not hold that back. Like, stop holding it back. I'm thinking these great things. Yes, give the gift. You're doing them a disservice if you don't, right?
Yeah.
And I've worked the muscle a lot as I have more and more I see new conversations. I have more and more week after week. I can count that the number grows week after week as I build the muscle of not holding that back and just giving the encouragement. Hey, I see in you this. You did this amazing. You know, encourage them on their path.
What's the result that you get from that most of the time? Like if you think about it.
You get so much fruit when you said that thing and then you see them grow in that thing.
Yeah.
I think also, you know, you're speaking into their life, and so you can sometimes see someone go from like being disappointed, and legitimately in that moment that you say that thing, you'll see them get out of their head and come to being present again. Like it can be as simple as that, right? But man, over and over, I've seen, you know, going to my team, as I encourage them, I've seen someone like Brady Cook. I'll call him out because he's probably listening to this, and I love talking about Brady. You know, Brady Cook came onto the team he was an amazing person even when he came on, but a very different person then than he is now.
Yeah.
And that took many conversations, and that took him being in Men's Alliance. It wasn't only me speaking into him, let me say, at all.
Yeah.
But he went from, you know, our first onboarding call to doing mobile camera to video director to, you know, now he leads parts of Men's Alliance and all this stuff, right? He moved on that path from lots of different encouragements, from him being faithful in the Bible. Let me tell you, that dude can go through hell and he won't give up on God. He is very faithful, and he's got a lot of good people around him that speak into him and encourage him. And I've had lots of ICNU conversations with him that I've just planted, and then within a few weeks, I'm like, wait, I remember that I talked about that with him not too long ago, and you see it happen. It's very fruitful. It's very fulfilling.
Awesome. And also, it's got fulfilling, you said. It fills you too, right?
Yeah, very much so, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so if you were talking to anybody, whether they're on the front end of that and just starting to experiment, or they're in a place where it's time for them to start making disciples and start, like, what overall advice? That's a big question. So if you got to split it up, that's fine. What overall advice would you give to someone in order to figure out what their next step might be, or to actually just take it?
I'd say for the people on the Jesus mountain, you recently accepted Jesus, you're leaning into Jesus. I'd say keep your heart ready and open. I say stay faithful, be devoted daily, read a verse a day, a chapter a day.
Yeah.
Pray often. I'd say to the people on the community mountain, I would say lean in, find a group, lean into community, find your people, find them and lean into them. And then the people on the Jesus mountain, be bold, be bolder.
Yeah.
Take action, be bolder.
Yeah.
Find your people, encourage them.
Yeah.
It all comes down to be bolder. Those would be my encouragement.
That's legit. That's biblical. Be bold.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Caleb, I love working with you. Legit.
Thank you.
Like I've watched you from toddling around in the auditorium to what it is that you're doing right now, and you're impressive. You raised the bar for all of the rest of us, just from your devotion and love for Jesus all the way to leaning in and making disciples. So, just want to make sure that you know that.
I appreciate the encouragement. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, guys, make sure that you're following this series. It's called Campfire Conversations, and it's all just about taking your next step from one mountain and one place in your spiritual journey all the way to where Jesus calls us to be. Great conversations we've been having, and you're going to definitely learn something. So check it out, and I'll see you next week.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Midweek Motivation. To make sure you don't miss any content in the future, please subscribe, share, and if you enjoyed this, give us a like, and consider popping by a Westside service some weekend. You can find out more at westsidecommunitychurch.com.